I'd like to call this segment The Truths About Social Security Disability.
Absolutely.
So let's reveal some of these truths for our audience.
Okay, so I apologize if I go into lawyer speak a little bit, because as a professor of disability here at the university, along with my co-professor, we try to provide you with really useful and good information, and please feel free at any time to slow me down if I get a little too technical.
Okay.
So what I want to talk about today for everybody is something that's been in the news a lot: Social Security disability. And I bet that anybody watching or listening to us today is thinking one thing: fraud. That, oh my God, people on disability do nothing but rip the system off.
Right.
And I can tell you, in over 20 years of doing this, that is absolutely false. There are times that there's fraud. Hey, it happens. It's human nature. It's life. But the reality is this: Social Security disability is an insurance that you, Larry, myself, and everyone here, including our cameraman, pays into in order to get a benefit somewhere down the road.
Right.
That's what it is. You're paying for this benefit. What disability is, though, is instead of getting it when you retire at 65, 66, 67, and who knows what in the future, you get a benefit before you retire because you've become disabled and unable to work in the workforce. And that's really what it is. You have to go through a lot of hoops. It's like buying an insurance policy.
And my observation over the years as what has happened as these Social Security disability claims have arisen is the way our workforce has been treated. Downsizing has had its unintended effects. And that unintended effect was it beat up the workforce. You had one person doing three people's job, and ultimately it wears you out. And so where somebody might have been planning on working to age 65, they can't do it anymore. And where do they turn? Next thing you know, not only are they is the workforce cut down, they're eliminated altogether. And now here somebody is who has physically lost some of the skills that they've had because they're worn out. The parts are worn out because they've worked triple time a lot of times. And from a mental standpoint, this is some states recognize stress on the job claims. Pennsylvania, where I practice, it's almost impossible to get them to recognize it. So where else is somebody going to turn? They have to have some kind of source of income. The company's left. They have no health care at this point, and they're in need. They're in need of maybe psychological help or physical help. Where else are they supposed to turn? And thank God that our forefathers, after the Depression, saw the possibility of this happening again in the future, because that's what happened in the Depression. And we created this system. And I don't know, I'm sure you'll back me up on this. The people that administer these claims, it's not a trial. You're not going into a trial. Brian can tell you more about that. But it's an administrative process. They're well-intended, they're honest, they're hardworking, and if you deserve and you qualify, and you can have the best lawyer in the world. You can have the smartest lawyer in the world. It's going to boil down to you. And if the system is designed to help you, and that's what it's there for.
I just want to be clear. This is a federal system. It's the Social Security Administration. And I want to address 2 points that you brought up. One is Social Security was first created in the 1930s during the Great Depression, or just after the Great Depression, and under the Roosevelt administration, and it was originally old age and survivor benefits. It wasn't until 1956, almost 20-some years later, that the Social Security disability component became law. And it's there and designed to help the injured or disabled worker who can no longer continue to work for all these reasons, particularly what's been going on lately, obtain benefits. Statistics show that everyone watching this video at some point in their life will have weeks of disability due to an illness, a medical condition, or something. It's just what they call the demographics. It's natural. It happens. And as you get older, there are periods of time where you may become disabled. And based upon that, now you're looking at working. All of a sudden you can't work. What the heck do you do? And that's really what the system's designed for. And whenever I hear people talk to me about, oh, it's a fraud, or I don't want to take advantage of the system, I don't want to sue anybody, I try to make it very clear. One, you're not suing anybody. This is an insurance policy that you have basically paid a premium
Correct.
for.
Yes.
You are going to jump through hoops in order to get it, whether you are represented or unrepresented. In fact, there's been a really interesting thing that's happened over the years, and you may have found us because you were thinking about Social Security disability or something like that. But here at the Disability University, we've discovered that the time that an attorney gets involved in a case has been pushed earlier and earlier and earlier. And to be honest with you, for the most part, you don't need an attorney until after you have been denied the first time around.
What percentage of people get denied the first time?
Over 65 to 70% nationwide get denied the first time around. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, it is a brand new claim. So even if you said stuff in your initial application, that's the technical term, the judge that will hear your case at Social Security does what's called a de novo review, or a brand new review of your case. And put simply, you can't screw up your case when you apply on your own unless you say you're disabled because you're an alcoholic and you fell off a building. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not going to win that even with an attorney.
Right.
So the reality is, it's all about a benefit that you're entitled to if you need it, and it's going to take time. In fact, you said 65-70% of people are denied initially. So it takes you anywhere from 4 to 5 months to get your initial decision.
Now, Professor Mittman, is there anything available to our listening audience, our viewers, that we could send them that might help them understand this a little bit better in case they just didn't want to, if they wanted to read about it? What would you have?
Well, absolutely. One of the things that we do both here at the Disability University and in our own respective law firms is provide free consumer guides. As a matter of fact, in my practice, I have Navigating Through the Social Security Disability Maze. This is actually a book that I co-wrote with one of my associates, and in it, we talk about things that you're here for. 25 important truths about obtaining Social Security. 13 major myths about Social Security. 5 big reasons why Social Security will deny benefits even if you're disabled. And a whole bunch of other information, including how to hire the attorney that's right for you.
And how much do you charge for this very valuable guide?
This guide is free. All we need you to do is reach out to us and request a copy. In fact, this information is so powerful that we've had people reach out to us, obtain our book, obtain the additional resources we provide, and then apply on their own, win their case, and call us up to thank us. Now, that doesn't help me when I have to pay my mortgage, but guess what? That makes me feel really good.
Right.
I've helped you.
And the idea is to, again, get this off dead center for someone, to give them boost that they need, the uplifting that they need, some help, some kind of advice that they know that, as you said, they can work their way through the maze.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a maze. And I always say that I think it goes, you can ask 2 attorneys for their opinion and get 3 answers, ask 2 doctors for their opinion and you get 6 different answers. There's no necessarily one right answer. This book and the information we provide here at the Disability University is designed to help you make the choice that you need so that you can do what's best for you. I'm not right for every client. I'm sure you're not right for every client. And every client may not even need an attorney. And that's where we start. We don't start at, oh, hire me, we're attorneys. We're here to provide you with the knowledge, the database of information so you can make decisions.
And you know, the thing that I like about what we've created at the Disability University is that the representation, the journey to justice ends, and you get your justice, whatever form that takes. And then, like in the Peggy Lee song, "Is That All There Is?" you can come back to the Disability University and find, through partners that we've created, joint ventures that we've created, where do I go from here? I've got this grub stake. I've got some money coming in. Now what do? My company is gone. It's disappeared. It's a whole new world out there. What do I do? Well, the idea is to create choice. The idea is, and unless you find something that you really love to do, like I know you really love the practice of law, as do I. It's not work. It's fun every day. It's always something different. And for our viewers, there's something out there. But that's where the lawyering stops, but not at Disability University.
You know, you talk about lawyers, you talk about attorneys, but when we are admitted to the practice of law, we are admitted as attorneys and counselors at law.
Correct.
And we can do the attorney thing, but most people don't do the counseling thing. And while we're not certified counselors with social work degrees, the reality is there's a lot of information that both you and I have gathered and pulled together here at the Disability University that is there to help you. In fact, one of the things that I do with my own practice is that when somebody reaches out to me and hires me, I don't care what type of case you have, you're going to get various information about what to do financially, what to do with your mortgage, what to do with your rent, how do you deal with student debt, what do you do if you're getting certain types of bills and how to handle that, because those are the important things that keep you up at night, that worry you. And it's very important because the whole idea is not to just get you through the initial process, but now that you've won, what have you done?
So now how did you come to a knowledge of the necessity or the need to help people this way?
Something was just missing. When I started in the practice, I was taught and trained the way everybody else was taught and trained. And something just didn't seem right to shake somebody's hand and move on and kind of hope that they refer me somebody in the future or they got hurt again and bring a case back. What would happen? And I started to see that I'd have clients who would come back to me many years later, and in between they had gone to a different attorney for some other matter or something happened. And I realized that I had the connections and the resources to help provide that information. And then you and I remember, sat down and we started talking about it. Why can't we provide this information to people more generally and to help people out where they really need help? What do you do this, in this day and age? We go to Google, and in a certain way, what we're providing is a focused Google for people.
Right. And it's just a willingness to share what we know, because in this type of practice of law, you get exposed to every aspect of a person's life. A lot of times when people will call us, it has nothing to do with their case. They'll talk about their case because they think that that's what they have to do when they call the lawyer.
Right.
But I know you've trained your staff and I've trained my staff to get to the question behind the question. We know there's something else bothering you, and it has nothing. And that's what Disability University, that's the kind of service that you can expect, to find out just what is it what's going on. And you'd be surprised, lawyers have the answer. We have the keys to these questions. I know that people are fascinated with lawyers.
Yes.
They're fascinated. A lot of TV shows, except they don't know what we do. They don't know what we really do. And through this vehicle, Disability University, that's my hope. That's my mission, to let them know that there is help, there's hope. We want to uplift the disabled.
Absolutely. And if you have a specific Social Security disability question, the information is right here for you to request a copy of our free guide. We'll provide you more resources and information. Heck, we'll provide you a way to even go through the Social Security Administration's website so that you can pull out information that you need. This is what it's about. I always tell people, before you file a claim, before you appeal a case, before you speak to a bureaucrat, before you speak to an insurance adjuster, and especially before you hire an attorney, you need to get the information that will help you make the right decision for you.
Now, I know that you've provided other tools for your clients, as have I. And we have a couple of them here to just show to our viewing audience.
Well, as you know, what we've done is we've created a series of reports about specific medical conditions, because the legal component is always the same. They call it the sequential evaluation. And you have to prove basically all 5 pieces in order to get a benefit.
Right.
Okay. So with that being said, we realize that people have different medical conditions. And it's not so much trying to prove the 5 steps, but it's what is the medical condition and how is that affecting that particular individual. So we have a report about MS, multiple sclerosis.
Right.
We have a report about fibromyalgia and Social Security, about knee injuries and Social Security. I'm actually going to be doing one on shoulder injuries, since I just had an MRI to my shoulder, and it's the 2nd time round, so it's time to talk about it. So not only do we provide you experience, I'm going to provide you real-world experience from a medical condition. But the point is, these are reports that start the questions for you. I don't know how you were as a student in school, but the reality is this. You have to start with a question somewhere. You're an adult, and then you can begin to ask the right things. We spend more time researching consumer guides about what TV to buy than we do about the attorney we hire. Right?
People spend more time planning their vacation than planning for the rest of their life. Sure. Yeah.
So the reality is, we want to help ease the burden, and we want to be able to have you walk into an attorney's office not thinking that it's some television show, but starting to understand what should happen.
Well, thank you for that explanation, Professor Brian.
My pleasure, Professor Larry.